came into this project for Dawn, taking over from Rupert Wyatt for Rise.
Yeah.
What did you take away from the first film, and was there anything that you felt unique that you brought to the table for Dawn and for now War?
Well, you know, the thing that I really was blown away by in watching Rise, and I thought Rupert did an incredible job directing that film, was how emotionally connected I was to an ape. And the most human character in that story was Caesar, which is a crazy thing. And when I came in and they were working with various different versions of drafts and things, and they had all of these new characters created that they were doing, but it wasn't as squarely set on Caesar. And I said, guys, can I just tell you something? As an outsider, I'm coming in to tell you that you did something incredible. I came thinking I was going to see this Planet of the Apes movie, which was going to be probably rooted in the humans, and we'd see some apes. I had no idea I was going to see the Caesar story. You've got to continue the Caesar story. And so I really thought there was an opportunity to do really a story that hadn't quite been done about the moment where it could have been Planet of the Humans and Apes. And so it was this moment in peace, and that was going to be resting on Caesar's shoulders because, as Andy described it in a way that I found very moving, he was both an ape and human and neither. So he was an outsider to both communities, but also had deep connections in both. And that made him the unique leader who could make this moment of peace work. And of course we know it doesn't, because it doesn't become Planet of the Humans and Apes. It becomes Planet of the Apes. So you watch in a slow motion car crash kind of way as it unravels. And it's heartbreaking. And that was really what I wanted to do with Dawn. And then in War, what I wanted to do was to take that further and make it more of a mythic story. To take, you know, the arc of Caesar's journey from being the sort of no one who rises to being a revolutionary and frees the apes from their bondage and gives them intelligence in Rise, to in Dawn being this leader who has to lead through difficult times and then isn't able to keep war from happening, to being a leader who has to deal with fighting a war for the survival of his kind that he never wanted. And one of the things that we wanted to do, because he's such an empathetic character, was to push him as far as Koba had been pushed. And in that way, he actually loses his empathy for humans, and the story becomes not only a war between humans and apes, but really a war within Caesar, a battle for his soul.
That's fantastic. So, as we understood a little bit from your panel last night, the mocap complexity requires for you to shoot sometimes four shots per scene.
4 shots per shot per scene. So if you've got 10 shots in a scene, you have to shoot those 40 times, plus all the takes. So if I'm doing like a take with Andy, I'm like going, let's try something else. Or Andy says, I want to do it again. We do maybe 10 takes, but then I've got to do that same shot after we're done 3 more times without actors in it. Sometimes I have to do those extra times because maybe there are human characters in those shots, and I have to shoot them until their performance is right. So you have to get so many elements until they're right before you can move on just to the next shot. It's a crazy experience.
So when you hit the editing room, how do you manage to put those together and put that dramatic pace that you've really done well to put into the film, even with some limited dialogue? How do you capture that when you are kind of seeing these different incarnations of the film every time?
Well, what's exciting is that the first cut of the movie that I do with the editors is Andy and all of the other actors. There's a version of Dawn, there's a version of Rise that exists not with any apes at all, but this tribe of, you know, lycra-clad, dot-faced, you know, humans. And it's the Planet of the Humans and the S&M guys, I don't know, whatever they look like. But that story actually works, and the reason it works is because of the actors. You're watching Andy's performance; it's so moving, and so that's what it looks like for the longest time. What's a really strange process is, as we settle on those performances, we start this dialogue with Weta. We turn over the shots and we say, that's the piece of Andy we want to use, and then they start sending back different versions of those shots, a blocking version, a more advanced animation version, and you start saying, God, am I feeling the same thing in Caesar's face that I see in Andy's? And it's a dialogue that we have, and the artists there are amazing. They sit there trying to analyze why exactly, oh, he seems sadder in reality than he does on Caesar's face. Why? And they unravel that until then we get a shot in, and it is Caesar. So then you're watching a shot of Andy, and then suddenly, oh, he's now Caesar, and you're seeing that the expression and the emotional sort of content of what he's doing continues. So it's a very strange process that won't end literally until probably about 4 weeks before the movie comes out.
So can we expect to see any of those mocap premature shots in perhaps some Blu-ray extras, or?
Oh, for sure. I mean, one of the things we've talked about doing is showing the movie in the state that we see it before it's done, which is the pure actor version without mocap in it, you know, with them in their mocap outfits. And we'll definitely do that. I mean, there's a piece, one of the pieces that I would have loved to have shown last night, we couldn't because it would have been a terrible spoiler. So we didn't, but I really want to make sure that that piece gets out because Andy gives a performance in this one scene that is so wrenching that I've never seen anything quite like it. And so it'll be very exciting to see. First of all, I haven't seen, you know, we've just turned that over, so we have to see how it turns out in Caesar, and that's going to be its own suspense. But when we get there, it'll be fun after the movie's shown to show that footage, and it would be great to show the whole movie.
Thank you so much. We're so excited for July. It can't come soon enough.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So glad to do it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
Appreciate it.